We are on the precipice of the 2024 NFL season kicking off, and we've had a little bit of preview of how these draft picks are going to look in the Chiefs' offense and defense. And I thought that it would be helpful to maybe add some context to this rookie class with previous rookie classes from the Kansas City Chiefs as we look forward to see, is this rookie class measuring up to being on par with rookie classes of the past? So I brought up all of the rookie classes going back to 2020, and I wanted to talk about each of them just briefly before we go forward, looking at this year's class. So the 2020 class had Clyde Edwards-Helaire in round one. I would consider this a bust because of that round one designation. Round two had Willie Gay, a multi-year starter for the Kansas City Chiefs. I would consider that a win, a hit. The round three pick of Lucas Niang, I think, is a push. He did have some starts. It is 2024. He is still on the team as of Sunday, the 25th. So I think that this is a push. I don't think that this is not a hit, and I don't think that it is a miss. I think that's kind of on par for what you're looking at with a borderline top 100 pick. Round four of the 2020 class was L'Jarius Sneed. That is, of course, a hit. And we are looking at round five with Mike Danna. I believe that is a hit. It is 2024. He is still contributing. He is listed as a starter heading into this season. And then Bo Pete Keys in round seven. Not really a contributor. Played a little bit his first season or two. He might have played 2 seasons here. But I don't think that that is a bust because you're looking at the 237th pick. So you had here 3 6 selections, 3 hits, 3 starters. 2021, round 2, pick 58, Nick Bolton. Obviously, Hit Stick Nick on this channel is going to be listed as a hit. Recently re-signed center Creed Humphrey, number 63 overall, a hit. Number 4, round number 4, 144th overall, Joshua Kaindoh. This was a bust. Not because he didn't play a whole lot, but because most of the time he was in Kansas City was spent on the practice squad. Round 5, number 162. So because Noah Gray was a 5th-round pick, I think you can consider this a hit. Never was a starter, but in the 5th round, getting a contributing tight end is a good thing. Look, I'm as big a fan of Cornell Powell as there is in the Chiefs' kingdom. That's a bust. Round 6, Trey Smith. I think you can consider that a win. So you're looking at 3, 4, 5, 6 picks, 4 hits in 6 picks, 3 starters in 6 picks. Now, Ozzie Newsome told us that you always have to look for 3 starters in every draft, otherwise you start getting yourself in trouble. The Kansas City Chiefs did that in 2020 and 2021. 2022, guys, this was the granddaddy. If the Chiefs win the Super Bowl this season, if the Chiefs three-peat, this draft here is going to go down as one of the greatest ever. This draft here is going to go down as studied by every general manager ever to take the reins in the NFL ever again. Round 1, pick 21, Trent McDuffie, that's a hit. Round 1, pick 30, George Karlaftis, that's a hit. Round 2, Sky Moore, a couple 250-yard seasons. I am erring towards calling this a bust, but for right now, heading into his 3rd season, I will say this is a push. Round 2, 62 overall, Brian Cook, that is a starting safety. That is a hit. Round 3, pick 103 overall, Leo Chanel, has not played terribly much to this point, is listed as a starting linebacker heading into the 2024 season. I'm going to consider that a hit. Round 4, 135 overall, Joshua Williams. Guys, he has started multiple games in his career as a 4th-round pick in his first 2 seasons in the league. That's a hit. Round 5, Darian Kinnard, the only bust from this draft. Round 7, Jalen Watson. If you're picking anywhere in round 7 and you get multiple starts, it's a hit. Jalen Watson has been a starting cornerback in the NFL for the Kansas City Chiefs, and I think he's going to continue to start in the future. That is a hit. Round 7, pick 251 overall, Isaiah Pacheco, obviously a hit. Round 7, number 259 overall, Najee Johnson out of Marshall, listed here as a safety. That's where he was drafted, was as a safety. He is going to be on the Chiefs cornerback depth chart this season, it appears. I will not consider this a hit, but I will consider this a push because it is definitely not a miss. You're looking at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 picks. You're looking at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 hits. You're looking at, from this draft, Trent McDuffie, starter. George Karlaftis, starter. Brian Cook, starter. Leo Chanel, starter. Between Joshua Williams and Jalen Watson, we're going to consider one of those a starter. And then Isaiah Pacheco in round 7, you have 10 picks, 6 starters. Absolutely phenomenal. Last season, maybe not quite so much. But when you got from the previous drafts, you got 3 starters in 2020, you got 3 starters in 2021, you got 6 starters here. That's 6, 9, 12, 12 starters out of 3 seasons, 12 starters, 22 starters overall. You've covered 12 of them. You had Patrick Mahomes, you had Travis Kelce. So there's 14 right there that you already had. We're being a little bit hard on the 2023 draft to this point. There were only 8 spots of starters that were not being started from players in the past 3 drafts and were not Travis Kelce and Patrick Mahomes. So, or Chris Jones, you should throw that in there too, so you're looking at 7. Anyway, round 1, pick 31, Felix Anudike-Uzomah. So far, that's a bust. I'm not going to consider it a bust because we're just heading into year 2. Round 2, pick 55, Rashee Rice, that's a starter. That is a hit. Round 3, Wanya Morris, I am erring toward hit. I'm going to consider it a push because we haven't seen it yet. Round 4, pick 119, Chamari Connor. I'm considering that a win. It looks like he is going to be the starting slot corner for the Chiefs this season. He's going to contribute also at safety. He's going to contribute also on special teams, I believe. So far, BJ Thompson, I believe that's going to be a miss because I don't think he's going to play football again. Round 6, Keandre Coburn, no longer with the team. You're not with the team in year 2. That's a miss, no matter if you go on to start someplace else. So far, more misses than the previous couple drafts combined. Nick Jones had some reps last year. Nick Jones looked decent last year. Nick Jones is buried on the depth chart this year, so I'm not ready to consider him a miss, but he doesn't look like he's going to end up being a hit. Right now, depending on what Wanya Morris and Felix Anudike-Uzomah figure out in their second season, this could still be a very strong draft because you could have 4 hits with your first 4 picks. You could have Felix Anudike-Uzomah could become a starter. Wanya Morris could become a starter, in which case you have 4 starters from 1 7-pick draft. But right now, it's looking like a bad draft. But guys, 2 starters out of a bad draft for the Kansas City Chiefs. Go through some of these rosters in the NFL, you're going to see a lot fewer than 2 starters for every 7 picks. Which brings us to the 2024 class. In my opinion, this class could be 2022-esque. 2022 was that monster draft, Trent McDuffie, George Karlaftis, etc. Right now, it looks like a merely good draft. Now, why do I say that? Well, because Xavier Worthy is going to start. We still have to see him produce, but he's going to start. Kingsley Suamataia is going to start at left tackle. Jaden Hicks, in my opinion, is going to start at safety and never look back. He is looking like an all-star out there. So that would be an average draft. 3 starters for your 7 picks. 3 starters for your 7 picks would be what Ozzie Newsome says you have to do. 3 starters in 7 picks is about what Brett Veach and company have been able to pull off. Here's where it gets interesting. Now, the one place that looks like it might be a miss. Kamal Hadden so far this preseason has done nothing. I don't know that anyone has even noted him in practice. I didn't catch it if they had. This is a maybe not the most top-heavy cornerback room in that they are struggling to find someone to replace L'Jarius Sneed as he is gone. But there's a lot of bodies there, and there are a lot of NFL guys in that cornerback room. It's possible Kamal Hadden is just struggling as a rookie adjusting to the NFL and will find his footing on the practice squad this season. We don't know that yet, and as of right now, it would look like that is a potential miss. Jared Wiley, if we were considering Noah Gray a push, Noah Gray about what you would want from where he was drafted and the position he plays. Jared Wiley, in my opinion, is going to exceed those expectations in year 1. Jared Wiley, in my opinion, by week 4 is going to be the backup tight end for the Kansas City Chiefs and the heir apparent to Travis Kelce. So, 3 hits and a push/hit, if you ask me. Now, Hunter Nourzad, drafted as a center. There's a reason the Kansas City Chiefs just re-signed Creed Humphrey. Creed Humphrey, obviously one of the best centers in the NFL. But if the Chiefs saw from Hunter Nourzad in camp and the preseason what they would need to say, we don't need a $72 million center, if they saw that from Hunter Nourzad, they would not have re-signed Creed Humphrey like they did. That does not mean that Hunter Nourzad is a bust. It does not mean that Hunter Nourzad does not have the opportunity to start during his tenure with the Kansas City Chiefs. We haven't even really seen him play a whole lot of center for this team. He's played mostly guard. I have made the observation that it seems trouble follows Hunter Nourzad, in the preseason at least, along that offensive line. It was Chuck Godric that was struggling by him next to Hunter Nourzad in the first 2 preseason games, or was it Hunter Nourzad? It's difficult to tell. The final preseason game, it was Mike Caliendo at center who was having all sorts of problems. But then again, he was standing next to Hunter Nourzad. Is this a matter of the assignments and Hunter Nourzad missing his assignments and not switching off or picking up as he is supposed to? Or is it just that Chuck Godric had a couple bad games and then Mike Caliendo had a bad game in the finale? I'm not the offensive line guru. I can't tell you what the answer is. What I do know is that offensive line guys all loved the Hunter Nourzad pick when it was made. Worst case scenario, it seems to me, with Hunter Nourzad, you have a backup center and guard. You have Mike Caliendo. Mike Caliendo came to the Kansas City Chiefs as a UDFA. A lot of teams end up getting a Mike Caliendo in the 5th, 6th, or 7th round. That would be where they got Hunter Nourzad, the Chiefs did this past season. That would be a push if he ends up being one of your backup interior offensive linemen. Which leads us to the final pick here, C.J. Hansen. I was able to watch C.J. Hansen a little bit in the preseason games, and I thought that he acquitted himself well. C.J. Hansen is from a very small school. The leap to the NFL was supposed to be too much for him, but he seemed to be doing well enough to my eyes. In round 7, at pick 248, making the roster essentially makes you a push. I don't know if he's going to make the roster this season, but I don't think that he would be claimed off the waiver wires. I don't think he would be poached from the practice squad. I think the Chiefs may be safe cutting him for now, signing him to the practice squad, because that's how you get on the practice squad. The team has to cut you on cutdown day, and sort of fostering his growth from there. That would not, in my opinion, make him a bust. At pick 248, not terribly much is expected of you. It is easy to become a hit from that spot. That said, his athleticism, he looks like he could be a starter in the NFL. If he does grow into a starter at pick 248, obviously that is hit level stuff. So just looking at this draft, zooming out, Xavier Worthy's going to start. Xavier Worthy looks to have the potential to be a plus player on this offense. Xavier Worthy is going to be forced into having to contribute early in the season due to the Hollywood Brown injury. If he is able to pull that off and make it so that the Chiefs' offense does not miss a beat, make it so that the Chiefs do not miss Marquez Valdez-Scantling, that's a low bar, I understand, but make it so that the Kansas City Chiefs can, in fact, move the ball and the offense looks alive, that is going to be a win. Kingsley Suamataia is not starting at right tackle. He's starting at left tackle. Very difficult in the NFL to start at left tackle. Right there, if you were able to get a starting wide receiver and a starting left tackle in the same draft, guys, that's a win, regardless of where you're drafting, regardless of where each of those players is taken. A starting wide receiver and a starting left tackle is a win for an entire draft class. Add to it, Jaden Hicks looks to be a starting level safety for a long time in the NFL. He looks to be the type of safety that Brett Veach has long pursued as general manager, the type of safety Tyrann Mathieu was never able to be for the Kansas City Chiefs, the type of safety that Justin Reid was brought in and hasn't really grown into. Justin Reid's solid safety, not a playmaker. You get those three guys, this draft becomes a win. If Jared Wiley is a contributor, this draft goes up. If either Hunter Nourzad or CJ Hansen become a starter, all of a sudden, what you're looking at is a draft that is really, really good, especially if Jared Wiley sticks around long enough to be the man at tight end after Travis Kelce. That is all I have for this video. If you like or appreciate what it is that I do here, hitting the like button really does help me out, as it tells YouTube to share this video with other Kansas City Chiefs fans. If you find yourself here by chance but not design, the Chiefs are the only thing I talk about on this channel, dropping multiple videos every single week, and I hope to have you back for the next one.